The night before my wedding, I made the biggest mistake of my life. I slept with my fiancé's best man. It was supposed to be a harmless celebration, just drinks and laughter before I became a wife. But one drink led to another, and then came the confessions, the flirting, the stolen glances. I don't know why I didn't stop it. Maybe I thought it didn't count yet. Maybe I didn't want to admit how broken I already was. But nothing prepared me for what came next, because right in the middle of our wedding reception, in front of our friends and family, the best man stood up and told everyone the truth. By the time he raised his glass, it was too late. The damage was done. And I was the one who ruined everything. My name is Lily Hargrove. I was supposed to be the happiest bride in the world. Miles was everything I ever dreamed of in a partner, kind, generous, thoughtful in ways that most people don't even think to be. He remembered my favorite bakery in college. He kept every note I ever left in his coat pocket. He once drove 6 hours just to surprise me with soup when I was sick during a work trip. He wasn't just the man I was marrying. He was my anchor, my safe place. The man who made me believe love could actually be real, and I destroyed him. I wish I could tell you it just happened, that I was drunk or confused, or that something had triggered a panic I didn't understand. But the truth is, it didn't just happen. It unraveled slowly, quietly, one line blurred at a time until the last one snapped, and it all started with Logan. Logan and Miles had been best friends since grade school, where Miles was steady and sweet. Logan was sharp and unpredictable. He had that kind of reckless charm, the type that could win over anyone in a bar or lose everything in a single bet. He was magnetic, chaotic, and absolutely not the kind of man I should have ever trusted. But he was family to Miles, and for years, he was just that to me Miles' wild, inappropriate, annoying, older brother type best friend. Until he WASN single quotes. It started with a look, 2 weeks before the wedding. We were finalizing guest lists when Logan came over to help Miles with some heavy lifting for our new apartment. Miles stepped out to take a call, and Logan and I were left alone, folding linens and half laughing over seating drama. That's when he said it. Something I haven't stopped replaying since. "You sure you're ready to be a wife, Lily? Or are you still pretending?" I laughed it off. But something in his tone unsettled me. Pretending what? He smiled, slow and deliberate. Pretending this, Miles, the house, the dress, the Pinterest perfect life is actually what you want. I should have shut it down. Walked away, told Miles. Anything. But I didn't, because some part of me, the insecure, reckless part, I thought I had buried, felt seen. And not in a good way. Over the next few days, it was like I couldn't not notice Logan anymore. Every text he sent about bachelor party planning had some double meaning. Every time he looked at me, it lingered a second too long. And the worst part? I didn't pull away. I flirted back. I told myself it was harmless, that everyone flirts, that as long as I walked down that aisle, I wasn't doing anything wrong, but I knew. Deep down, I knew. And then came the rehearsal dinner. The night before the wedding was everything. It was supposed to be left speeches, wine, the buzz of anticipation. My parents were beaming. Miles looked at me like I was the sun. Logan pulled me aside outside the venue, a half-smoked cigar in one hand, drink in the other. His tie was undone, eyes glassy but focused. "You look like a woman with doubts," he said. "You look like a man who needs to shut up," I said, laughing too hard. He didn't smile. "I could make you forget all of this. Just say the word." I stared at him. I wanted to say no. I opened my mouth to, but the words didn't come. Not then. Not when he stepped closer. Not when he leaned in. Not when I let him kiss me. The room he was staying in was 2 floors above mine. We didn't even speak on the walk there. The only sound was the click of my heels and the blood rushing in my ears. I remember every second of it. Every terrible, shameful second. It wasn't so terrible back then, however. I craved all of it. Deeply, I didn't know I had it in me. I didn't know what I was missing out on. I let him have me all to himself. He touched me like I was his, and I did the same. To him, like we weren't hours away from a ceremony. Like we weren't betraying the best man I've ever known. It wasn't love. It wasn't even lust. It was destruction. I left his room at 3:12 a.m., still in my dress, from dinner. I didn't sleep. I didn't cry. I stared at the ceiling and told myself, "You will take this to the grave," because it didn't make sense. I was in love with Miles. I really was. This meant nothing. Maybe if I didn't say it out loud, maybe if I never told anyone, it would stop being real, and I would have if not for the speech. The ceremony was perfect. Miles cried when I walked down the aisle. I forced a smile that hurt my cheeks. I didn't feel like a bride. I felt like a lie in a white dress. Everyone clapped. Toasts were made. First dances were had. And then Logan stood up. He He tapped his glass with a fork, looked around the room, and then looked at me. I've known Miles since we were 5. He's the best man I've ever met. The kind of guy who gives even when he has nothing, who forgives things most of us wouldn't, who loves deeply, without hesitation. He paused. He had been drinking, and not a little too. I could tell. He was having a hard time holding his head up, and that's why it kills me to stand here, knowing I did the one thing he never would have done to me. My heart dropped, my chest tightened. I felt the blood leave my face. I messed up bad, and I'm not going to stand here and pretend it didn't happen. I crossed a line I never should have crossed with someone I had no right to be near. Like that. I know you're sure of the person you're marrying, and I hate to do this in front of everyone, but I can't face you alone. Not after what I did. So, ... I'm sorry, Miles, for everything. You didn't deserve this. He looked at Miles. Then, at me. I'm sorry, man. I'm so sorry. The room was dead silent. Miles looked at me, his smile gone, his eyes so full of love, minutes ago were glassy, confused, and hollow. Lily, he whispered. I opened my mouth. I couldn't breathe. I shook my head. I wanted to run, scream, vanish. But I stood there, frozen, exposed, and then Miles walked out. He didn't scream, he didn't ask questions, he didn't wait for an explanation, didn't even take off his boutonniere. I chased him through the parking lot in my heels, sobbing, begging. He wouldn't look at me, wouldn't speak. He got in his car, shut the door, and pulled away. That was the last time I saw him. The ceremony had already happened. We were legally married. But the reception, the celebration, the start of what was supposed to be the happiest night of our lives that ended the moment Miles walked out? Guests were frozen. Some thought it was a joke. Others started whispering, exchanging looks, unsure if they should stay or go. My maid of honor tried to get me to sit down, to breathe, but I couldn't. My legs felt like they didn't belong to me. Logan disappeared. I don't know when. Maybe he left before I even reached the parking lot. Maybe he didn't want to face what he'd just done, what we had done. My parents were stunned. My mother just kept saying, Lily, what did he mean? What was he saying? But I couldn't speak. Guests trickled out awkwardly, some giving me tight-lipped hugs, others just avoiding eye contact altogether. The lights came on. There was no first dance, no bouquet toss, no send dash off, just silence, plates of untouched food, a wedding cake, no. One dared cut, and me alone, in a white dress I no longer deserved. Surrounded by the ruins of a future I shattered with one decision. It's been 8 months, and somehow, Nook, he picked out from Ez, gone. Sold to a couple who probably smiles when they pass the spot. Where we were going to hang our wedding photos, I still have the keys. I never turned them in. They don't unlock anything anymore, but I can't let them go. My wedding dress is still shoved in the back of my closet. Sweat, and something worse, shame. Every time I catch a glimpse of the fabric, I remember how it felt clinging to my skin when I chased him through that parking lot. I remember screaming his name, heels scraping the pavement, voice cracking. And I remember the silence as he drove away. That silence still hasn't ended. I tried everything. I called, I texted, I wrote letters that I didn't even send at first because I thought they sounded pathetic. When I finally did, they came back, returned to sender. He'd changed his number, his email bounced. The apartment we were supposed to share was emptied out within a week, just gone. Like I was a ghost. He needed 2 XORCISE. A mutual friend told me he moved to Oregon, that he's doing better now. He's hiking again, smiling, working at some small nonprofit that builds homes for veterans. That's the kind of man he is. He loses everything and still gives. He cut Logan off completely. I don't know if he ever confronted him again. I don't know if he punched him or said goodbye or just walked away. I haven't spoken to Logan either. Not since that night. He sent one message a week later. I'm sorry for everything. I didn't respond. I couldn't. What would I even say? We ruined someone who didn't deserve it, and for what? For ego. For a spark that wasn't even real. That he was the one who took everything from me. Night, I tried to date, but I couldn't do it. Every dinner ended with me pretending to smile, to laugh, to care until I'd excuse myself. To cry in the restroom? Every man I met reminded me of what I lost. Of the way Miles used to reach across the table to brush my hand. Of how he used to kiss my forehead before bed, no matter how tired he was. I lost more than just him. Humiliated, my mom won't even talk about the wedding anymore. If I bring it up, she changes the subject. Like I said, a slur. My dad is quieter, sadder. I can see it in the way he looks at Meal, like he doesn't know who I am anymore, and it's not just them. My sister unfollowed me on every social app. My cousins didn't invite me to their kids' birthdays. One even told me outright, you had everything and threw it away. You ruined your life. What do you expect us to say? At work, the whispers never really stopped. They've just gone quieter, softer, colder. I used to be the friendly one, the one people asked to lunch. Now, I'm the cautionary tale. The girl who cheated on her husband with his best man the night before the wedding, everyone knows. Even people who weren't at the wedding, even people I've never met. That kind of story spreads like blood on a white dress. And the worst part, the marriage is still technically intact. We're still legally married. I don't even know why he hasn't filed yet. Maybe he's too busy. Maybe he's waiting for me to do it. Maybe some tiny, naive part of me is still holding on to the idea that he might change his mind. But it's coming. I know it. The divorce papers will show up one day, and when they do, I'll sign them. Because what else can I do? I'm not the victim here. Just for a second, I'll roll over and reach for him like I used to. And then reality smashes down like a freight train. The silence, the ache. And when it gets really bad, I replay the moment. The speech, the look on his face. The second his heart broke and it showed. I ruined my own future for a moment of selfishness. And not just my future, his too. Like this only happened to me. It's the corrosion. The way it rewrites who you are in the eyes of everyone who once trusted you. I became that woman. The one who ruined her own wedding. The one who slept with the best man. The one who broke a good man and still cries about it like she's the one who was wronged. I don't know why I did it. I still ask myself that. What was I looking for? Attention? Maybe I just didn't believe I deserved something as good as Miles, so I destroyed it before it could be taken from me. Who loves you with the kind of sincerity that makes you feel safe in your skin? Don't test it. Don't flirt with destruction just to feel like you're still wanted, because that feeling of power you get in the moment, it dies the second he walks away and it never comes back. Miles, if you're out there, I'm sorry. I always will be, and I don't expect you to forgive me. But I hope, one day, when you look at the life you've built without me, you smile. And I hope it's everything I never deserved.